Hi everybody, welcome to another video. This one's two guns that I haven't featured at all yet, and they're recent acquisitions for me. First one is the gun you see here, which is a Kiwami1 Iwata, and the second one is an Iwata W300. Before I start, just to say thank you to all the subscribers and all the comments, etc. Thanks very much, it is appreciated. I do enjoy the like toing and froing and that. It's good fun, so just thanks everybody. So these two guns, so as I say, I haven't done a video on these before, and I've only had them recently. So we start off with the Kiwami1. Now this is basically a W101, and Iwata W101, but they've just updated it a bit. The Kiwami stands for apparently expert in Japanese, so it's the expert one. And they also do a wider one as well, which is, it's got a slightly different finish to it. It's not a chrome finish, it's more of a polished aluminium. But I mean, I'll go into that another time. But as I say, this one here, the W101, the new incarnation, is the Kiwami1. The only difference I can see is the cap has got a different thread, slightly different graphics, etc, etc. Otherwise it's very similar. The caps are quite different though, the actual air horns and the air holes in the caps. Now I have only got W101 in copies, Chinese copies, but I actually quite like them, so I promised myself that I'd get a real one, and this is the real one. You'll see I did an unboxing on it. I got it from Japan. It cost me about, from memory, about 170 quid I think altogether, with the import fees, etc. But 170 quid, very well spent. It's about 220 US dollars. Very well spent. I mean, you can see here I've used it actually for clear coat and base coat. In this I'm using it for base coat, and you can see it lays it on really nice, really flat. 2 bar, which is sort of standard pressure for most guns. I was a little bit at first with this colour. I've never sprayed this colour. It's actually a BMW C1P galvanised gold, or galvanic gold they call it. So I was a little bit unsure as to, you know, how much to give it. So I put the gun settings on, but basically first time out it was 2 out on the fluid, second time 2.5 out, 3 out on the fluid, third time. If I was to do it again, I'd do it 3 out on the fluid and probably only give it 2 runs over, because that should be enough. But you know, when you try something for the first time, especially a colour, you're not quite sure how it's going to cover, etc. So that's the reason for doing it. But as I say, really good gun. You'll notice it has a side pot, and effectively I think the W101 is a side pot version of the W300, because the tips, etc., up until they changed the Kiwami, you see I've run out of paint here, but I do get a bit more on it. Up until the Kiwami1, the caps were interchangeable on the W300 and the W101s, as were the tips and needles, etc. So it's like a side cup W300, and I quite, as I've said before, I quite like the side cup, because you can adjust it to whatever position you're painting in, and take it to its logical extreme. You could actually turn it upside down and paint upside down. I know you can do that with PPS, but if you want to use the original pot, you know, save a bit of money, or for whatever reason, then it's quite a good idea. And I do like it, and it seems to get the pot out the way as well sometimes, you know, because it's to one side, it tends to get the pot out the way. Having said that, if you were left-handed, I think it might be a pain in the backside, to be honest, because I'm right-handed, as are a lot of people. But if I was using it with my left hand, I think the pot would annoy me, because it would be like closer to you, it'd be right in front of you, and it would annoy me. So maybe that's something to look out for if you're left-handed. Maybe it's not such a good idea. So anyway, that's the Kiwami1. Now the W300. Now, Kiwami1 was a 1.3 with a B8 cap. I put that in the gun specifications, and I knew it was going to put quite a lot on. The W300 up till now I had only used with base coat, which is effectively what it's more designed for, water-based base coat. But I put it with water-based, I'd used it with solvent water, I was going to get it right in a minute. I used it with solvent-based paint and it was absolutely fine, really good. But I was a little bit hesitant for clear, simply because being a 1.0, I thought it was going to take quite a while to put it on. So I literally put full fluid, full fan. Now this runs at 1.5 normally, and I thought, well, I'll put it a little bit more for the clear to see if I could get a bit of finish. So I actually run it at 1.7 bar. So full fan, full fluid, 1.7 bar. And you'll see that it does a terrific job. It really surprised me for something that I was a little bit hesitant to, because I just thought it would just not put enough on. So you can see from the get-go, I started off very slowly because I knew that it would take longer to put a reasonable amount on. But the finish for you know, a 1.0 tip was superb. And I can honestly say I'm really enjoying using this gun, and I actually paid £70 for it. You can see the little green hologram there, that comes off after about 4 or 5 washes. Mine's come off now, but you can see the person who had it before me obviously didn't use it, and as I say, I paid 70 quid on eBay on an auction thing because, well, for whatever reason nobody wanted it. But it's a cracking gun, and you'll see at the end there's a high definition video at the end of the finished article, and you can see how well it lays it down. Considering it's supposed to be a base coat gun, it does superbly. So really highly recommended gun. If you look at the amount of overspray as well, there's virtually nothing. I mean, there's not nothing, but you know what I mean. It's very little compared to some of the other guns. Because it works at a lower pressure, it just seems to transfer virtually all the material to where you want it. So thoroughly recommended gun. I mean, for me, for £70, it's got to be the best value for money gun I've got in my whole collection, because it just cost me virtually nothing, and it just surprises me in all what it does. You wouldn't want to do a whole car with it. You wouldn't want to do 5 or 6 panels, I wouldn't think, unless you were doing them separately, because it would just take too long to get the stuff on. But for what I do, it's absolutely superb. Or for smart repairs, spot repairs. One of the chaps who regularly contributes to the channel in the comments and that has been after a video on this for ages, and I promised him I'd get it out, you know, as quick as I can. So here it is for you, chap. Hope you enjoy it. But he wants something for smart repairs, and I would think this would be right up there for smart repairs. As I say, it doesn't make loads of mess, doesn't give loads of overspray, and you can see the finish, absolutely superb. This is a cheap clear coat. All my stuff is virtually cheap clear coats, simply because most of it's just sanded down and start again. But you know, if you're using a good quality clear coat, you could expect even better results than this. But you know, great colour. I really enjoyed doing this. Great guns. So you know, I'm getting quite into the Iwata stable. There's loads of different caps for these things and different combinations. You know, if you look up on the internet, you can see what they actually do. But it's you know, there's just loads of combinations. Thanks very much.